Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So, good morning. Welcome to another market open stream. And today, Bitcoin is just as hot as last night, maybe more so because Wall Street is about to open. In fact, it did. So today, let's talk about this record-setting surge that is sending Bitcoin to unknown territory. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. And besides Bitcoin, many alts are skyrocketing right now, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to put it all together for you guys. Let's do it. Welcome. Look at that chart, that beautiful Bitcoin chart. Man, I don't know how anyone could have missed this. I've been preaching HODL DCA for years, so hopefully all of you guys have listened. We are right at 57,000. I did say that this next resistance, probably about 57.8. And we're not, quite frankly, we're really close. This morning we hit 57.5. We're probably going to hit there soon. Wall Street has just opened. Their volume is absolutely nutty at this point. So I would not be surprised by the end of my spiel here, at the end of my my stream, Bitcoin is way higher. We'll see. Right now, it's the talk of the town, really. I mean, you look at this. This is a front page. They had to update this because it was 56. Now they updated 57. And then, I was looking at Coinbase. You know what? 52-week high, up again. MicroStrategy, 52-week high, up again. You don't bet against Bitcoin. Me personally, I still have friends that are investing in like Tesla, for example. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Why would you not be investing in Bitcoin and crypto, the fastest horses in the race by far? It's like a Lambo versus a bicycle. That's the gap between the performance of Bitcoin and crypto and everything else out there, right? And or anything related to it. Like, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? I can't believe them. Anyways, you guys understand. Bitcoin is leading the way right now because we're above 57,000. Just to put things in perspective, even as hot as 2021 was, we only spent 82 days total above 57,000. Okay, we're there now. Think about it. Only 82 days did Bitcoin spend its time above 57,000. And we're there already before the halving event. We have, after the halving event, more than a half year left in 2024 for Bitcoin to continue to surge. And then we have the entire 2025 year left in this parabolic bull run, right? We are moving so fast, guys. So fast. And that's why I said this year I'm so bullish and we're breaking all trends, and that's a good thing. Grayscale yesterday had the lowest ever outflow, 22 million. It's getting to a point where no one wants to sell Grayscale anymore. It would be silly. It would be really silly. Especially now, since Bitcoin keeps going up, all the ETFs are going up too. They're all at 52-week highs. GBDC is probably at a 52-week high. Why would anyone be selling now, right? It wouldn't even make sense to try to sell it and convert it to another ETF at this point. So the outflow is basically drying up to nothing. And the inflow continues to be staggering. Yesterday, led by Fidelity. BlackRock slowed down a little bit, but not really. They're at over 132,000 Bitcoin. They added 2,000 more yesterday. Fidelity added a staggering 4,400 Bitcoin. And then you have ARK added 2,400 Bitcoin. Bitwise added 681. Overall, net positive of 9,534 Bitcoin into these funds. That's a lot. That is a staggering amount. That added up to about $600 million. What is it going to be today? The FOMO, you know, the FOMO in Wall Street is high right now, right? A lot of these guys that don't actually buy physical Bitcoin and crypto, they have to wait until market open, and then they missed out on a lot. Like all these funds just jumped up, you know, immediately upon market open. But this is not going to stop, guys. It will only escalate, and that's why I've been sharing my fears are that these guys will accumulate so much in this cycle, it's going to make it nearly impossible for retail to accumulate more in the future, no matter what. So that's why you got to stack up as much as you can while things are cheap. And I do air quotes around cheap because I know at 57,000 it's not really cheap, but it's cheap compared to 250,000 or 500,000 or $1 million in the future, right? So this may be the last chance to grab cheap Bitcoins. Liquidations sky high, 189 million last night. Probably more today. I mean, we're still on the uprise right now. I mean, it's just the shorters. I don't believe that there are people that are still trying to short Bitcoin. It doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you want to short Bitcoin? Do you like losing money? Do you like losing it in an instant? If you do, go short Bitcoin. That's the best way to do it. But these shorts are causing short squeezes, which of course is great, driving things higher. That's what we want, right? So I don't shed a tear for anyone that's been liquidated by their shorts. Longs, yes, I sympathize because it has happened to me many times. But shorts, no. You get no sympathy for me. Outside of those things, futures, new record. Not a surprise, kind of. Yes. Of course, it's going to be high, but again, the Wall Street players that are playing futures is doing it at a level that's higher than peak of 2021 already. So think about that. At 57,000, there's more interest now than when Bitcoin was at 64,000, 69,000, right? Again, we're ahead of the curve. We're kind of in unknown territory. This is one of the reasons, but there's many other reasons why. And Bitcoin continues to go up. What did I say? Wall Street is feeling the FOMO. Feeling FOMO hardcore. They're not going to stop. All right. What are other things? MVRVZ score. You know, obviously, if you're looking at this, we're nowhere close. We're nowhere close to top. We're not even close to a mid-cycle top. Okay. Again, that shows you how fast we are moving. These kind of, metrics take a while to update, just like charts on a longer time frame. But what this shows is, yes, Bitcoin is starting to move, but we're nowhere close to the peak that's coming in 2025. So, I mean, you just gotta strap on and because it's gonna be a wild ride. So here's something from Peter Brandt too. He's a somewhat famous trader. He says he's been in the space in 30 years, obviously not in Bitcoin for 30 years. But according to him, Bitcoin thrusted above the upper boundary of the 15-month channel. And because of that, he's updating his prediction from 120 Bitcoin top to now 200,000. 200,000, and he believes it will be in August or September of 2025. Okay. Think about it. We got a year and a half before that happens, okay? So, yeah, the ride is long, and it's going to be phenomenal. Here's something else that shows you what we're going through right now, this ascending triangle from the bottom all the way to where we are, and it seems like we have broken above, and the last few times Bitcoin broke above, really good things started happening, right? Just like what Peter Brandt said. And according to the stock to flow model, we're back on track. And the stock to flow model is so aggressive. If we do what we did in 2017 and we break out of the upper end, Bitcoin would actually be at $1 million by the end of this cycle. Now, I don't think it's going to do that, but I think it'll be somewhere, you know, probably the top of the, maybe the top of the, like the solid blue by 2025. And that would put it right around like $400,000, $500,000. The way we're going right now, it would not surprise me because of all the ETF inflows and everything else that's happening. Okay. I guess we'll just have to see. It's a long ride, long journey ahead of us, and I have a feeling it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. All right, outside of Bitcoin, man, there are so many movers. I know you guys know it. I mean, the overall market cap is just exploding every single day now, right? And we got tons of movers. I've been talking about stacks. Okay, I know stacks. I talked about it, and I've said this. If Bitcoin goes up, stacks goes up. It's just really that simple. There's a really tight, close relationship, and that's because stacks is powering most of the dApps that are on top of Bitcoin. All the new DeFi projects, all the wallets and dexes and liquidity pools and bridges and launch pads and incubators and everything else that's happening on top of Bitcoin is thanks to stacks. So stacks, TVL is going up. Their price is also going up. They're up 23% just in the last day alone, right? And they are going to continue. So don't skip out on stacks. And then today also, we got a lot of AI plays too, or somewhat new into the AI space. People asking about Theta. Theta has been around for a long time. They did change some things, but now they're hopping on a bandwagon. Why not use their network to process AI? Okay, so they're going to launch this. They call it the Edge Cloud. It's going to launch May 1st. And what that's going to do is that network of GPUs will be used to calculate and provide, I'll just quote them, provide developers, researchers, and enterprises large and small with unlimited access to GPU processing power for any AI and video task. If you ask me, that's smart. Before they were trying to, build up their streaming platform, Theta TV, that turned out to be a flop. They tried to get NFTs, that turned out to be a flop, right? They're kind of like, they don't kind of know what direction we want to go into, but why not do this? This is going to be big. So this is kind of like competing with BitTensor, right? That's exactly what they're doing too. So I think that's a smart move in the right direction. And Theta is up 38% after this announcement. So Theta is coming back because of it. But they're not the only ones trying to do that. Flux is also trying to do that. Flux, actually, now they announced you can launch BitTensor nodes on Flux, but they're also onboarding a ton of GPUs to do the same thing, right? And they're also up. I don't have the thing up for them, but they're also up crazily. I think they're up like 20-something% today. No, they're only measly 12%. But they're also up in the same way. So there's a lot of projects moving into AI space that are getting a big boost right now. Okay. What else is there? Hedera, the chain behind Karate Combat. Well, they teamed up with Pyth Network. Okay. So, of course, every chain needs to have a good oracle. Pyth Network is the up-and-coming oracle. And because of this, and Pyth got listed on some Korean exchange, Pyth Network up 27% today. Look at that huge jump, right? We got a lot A lot of great movers recently. What else is there? Pepe. I have no news about Pepe, but I just noticed that they're up 37% today. They were higher. They were up like 50% today. So I think they're neck and neck with Bonk now. They're 885 million. I don't know. Bonk went up. Bonk went up 870. They're neck and neck. Bonk is up 17% today too. And, you know, another one, Whiff, is up 48%. So Whiff does seem like they're going to get the next Coinbase listing. They're at 572 million. They are exploding upwards. So memes are getting hot once again. And of course, my favorite of them all, cock. Everyone needs to get some cock in you. And it's up 20% today. So that's also awesome. So the market is back. Everything is up. This is why we're in the space. This is why we've been holding and DCing. Last night, we had some excitement. People were sharing how much they're up. People are making tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands, right? This is what we want. But, you know, here's the thing. This is just the beginning. I believe the entire market cap still could go up by another 10. I think by the end of 2025, the global market cap could be at 20 trillion. That would not be unreasonable. And most of the things that we see now will be up 10, 15, 20, 30, 50x. So if you think the gains are massive now, wait until a year later. Then they'll be really nutty. So it's looking good, guys. It's looking really, really good. That's all I have to say. All right, let's do some Q&A. Man, Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, everything. Looks like we're, for Bitcoin, looks like we have like a little tiny resistance right here. About 50, 57.3. We're going to shatter that in no time. We're going to shatter that in no time. But right now, maybe there's a small little resistance, little battle with the bears. All right, let me scroll up here. Let me kind of lost my voice a little bit from last night's stream. Queen says thrust is key. I watched George for opening bell because CNBC and Bloomberg don't talk about what is really happening. Yeah, they're not going to talk, especially Jim Cramer. Him and a lot of people on CNBC do not want to talk about Bitcoin and crypto. Only Joe Kernan. Joe Kernan is the only one that's like bullish on Bitcoin. And he argues and debates with a lot of the people. I'm still scrolling down here. Yeah, I had a little too much Blue Label last night. Andrew Sorkin is just as bad as Kramer. He tries to be neutral, but I think you're right. I think he's more negative than positive. In HODL, yeah, I'm not going to pay attention to Telos. I'm sorry. I gave up on that project. Lazaro says, bought the top last cycle. Been DCAing since 2021. I'm up 83K. You've done it right, my man. Now imagine 83K profit turning into 830K profit. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I don't want to get, you know, give too much hopium. But, you know, the way we're moving now and where we are in the cycle, we still have so much left on the table. So much left, right? This is nowhere close to the top of this cycle. Nowhere close. Andrew looks like a kid, but I know he isn't, but he used to look so young, and I'm like, why is he the guy interviewing people? He looks like he has no experience, but I know now he's probably like same age as me, but he looks really young. Diego says, if Kujera Render hits 50, I'll get a logo tattoo of CRU. I'll hold you to that. The one nobody's talking about is PNG. Okay, good for you, man. Stacks price prediction. I don't know. Stacks is going to go a lot higher. It really depends on how high Bitcoin goes. But, you know, $30, $50. You know, I'd say $50. If Bitcoin really goes to 250,000, guys, I mean, Stacks could be at $50. I mean, the sky's the limit, really. Paul, message retracted. Please make a Discord server for this community. I have a Discord. It's private, though. It's for my Patreon members. So there's a lot. It's been growing by leaps and bounds recently. So it's a good community in there. You get good information, good newsletters. You get hot tips from me sometimes. Yeah. I don't want to make a public one or a public Telegram because then you got a whole bunch of scammers that's always trying to flood it and so forth. So I don't want to deal with that. Man, I kind of feel left out with WIF. I went with Myro, and then Myro went through all that controversy, and now it's not doing anything. WIF seems to be the next one that's going to blow up, and they are still just going. Look at that constant upwards for the day. That's kind of crazy. Still, I told him to put CRU. I could change my logo and make it more, but, eventually people will know what it means. But I get what you're saying, to put the whole word on there. I may consider that. A Baron, appreciate that. Zeta chain, a good hold. It's still relatively new. I know it's been doing well, but I'm very cautious of chains that do too well out of the gate. But they're like an interoperable chain that's supposed to be bridging to a whole bunch of other, chains like Bitcoin and Ethereum and so forth. Still relatively new. Still relatively small in market cap. Could do well. Got 6,200 people in here. Welcome, everyone. Last night, we hit 9,200 live viewers. That was crazy. That was crazy. And so is Bitcoin right now. We got this tiny little resistance at 57.3. Man, once we break that, it'll go be at 57.8. And if we could break that, I don't even know the next line above it. It has to be like above 60K. CRO flip bun? You mean BNB? No, it won't. Your thoughts on Filecoin? I mean, it's one of the biggest decentralized storage plays, so it has a future for sure. I'm not terribly bullish on it, but it will do well this cycle for sure. These Densite, I did talk about Pyth. They're up really big today. I've been talking about them as the second biggest Oracle. They just partner up with Hedera. And, you know, from a technical standpoint, they are better than Chainlink, but they're not as robust or battle tested. And they don't nearly have as much connections to other chains or dApps. But they are growing by leaps and bounds, for sure. Paul says, trying to develop DCA out on alts. Math teacher here. Suggestion, sorry about reaction first time. What do you mean trying to develop DCA out on alts? Like how to convert it into Bitcoin? Just, there's no, you don't need to use calculus or algebra on that. Paul, just look at your biggest winners and start subtracting those off and buy Bitcoin with them. That's how I do it. Just look at your biggest winners. The biggest losers, right? If you stop believing in them, then just sell them out. But if you still believe in them, then just DCA into those, right? I think that's the easiest way to do it. I'm not going to look at CWIF. I hate memes that try to copy off or ride the bandwagon of another meme. So CWIF is the same of WIF. It's not the same. It's a copy of it. So no. Big fan Jacob says, please explain more detailed number of the entire crypto market cap CMC. What do you mean? I think you're getting ETFs and CMC like numbers confused, man. The total market cap of all the crypto is all the market cap of all the crypto added together. ETFs are just on Bitcoin alone, right? So I don't know where the confusion is. Abshik says, I'm already up 70% on Zai after you recommended it. Do you think I could further do a 5x from here? You know what? Zai is interesting because they're like a smaller, I don't know why that just got off of dark mode. Smaller play versus Beam. So, I don't know. I mean, they're the first L3 on top of Arbitrum. They're into the gaming space. And if they can continue to onboard games, then the future is very bright. Look at how high Beam is, and they're basically equivalent of Beam. And Beam is up very good today, 14%. Beam is at 1.9 billion, so there's plenty of room to grow for Zai. Doji could be a good play. First meme on Doge. Is Doge even doing well? Let's see. Okay, Doge is getting some love today, finally. 12%. I don't know if Doge will be a good play. Doge is like, I mean, it's still the big dog. It's 13.8 billion. But, you know, everyone is already FOMOing into all these other memes. Maybe Doji could be. I don't know. You have to be on a very hot chain. And Dogecoin chain is not the hottest. It's up 60% today, though. 60%. You know what? Maybe it's worth to degen into this a little bit just because of that. The first DRC20 token, oh, it's using the inscriptions. Man, that's already $60 million though. That really limits the upside. Lucas, do you think alts will pump soon? I don't know if you've been paying attention, man. A lot of alts have been. I think you're specifically asking, why is H-bar not going up? You just have to give it time. Have I heard of Open Fabric? Sorry, I have not. Thoughts on Domi? Their gameplay just dropped at alpha. Testing has dropped from March. I really like a lot of the AVAX chain games. That sounds very familiar. I don't remember it though. Domi Online. Probably not this one. This is on top of Ethereum. I don't know anything about it, man. Frankenstein. Notice Celestia has a little stall over last little bit. Still holding. Curious. Hey, just because something doesn't move for like a week does not mean that it's bad. And does not mean that fundamentals of that coin has just gone out the window. You realize Celestia is probably one of the biggest movers of 2024. And right now, maybe a lot of people took profit out and decided to FOMO into some of these others, right? That's just how it is. You can't give up just because there's like a week or two of non-movement. It's the same thing with Solana. Solana has been really weak. Injective has been really weak, and that's because they went up so much. Now people are trying to FOMO into other things. Chasing Alex, appreciate that. Man, there's so many things coming. Do we have ETFs on weekend? No, we do not. No, we do not. James says at this rate, BTC top could be in 2024. No, that's nonsense. It's going to be in 2025. But this year, in 2024, we may end up at over 6 figures. At this rate, we could hit all-time high by halving event. We could hit 6 digits by summer, autumn of this year. And if we're above 6 digits, like well above 6 digits by the end of this year, man, then of course that's welcome, but man, then we're just moving so fast. Then if that's the case, if we're like, say, 125 by the end of this year, I mean, seriously, 250 is only the beginning then for 2025. Modern life dating. Oh, interesting. Sup, brother? This is my second stream of yours. Great advice. This is my third bull run. So I know good info when I see it. Watching from Tokyo. Awesome. You know, I have never been to Tokyo. I really want to go. But thanks, my man. Appreciate that. If you've been through 3 cycles, then you should know what you're doing. Price prediction for Kulo at the end of the year. Well, I got to see what Moon Daddy does with it. He was trading very hard for the IFC, represented himself and Kulo in the best of light. So we'll see where he takes it. Jay, $1. Thank you. George, is DOT a dead coin? No, it's not dead. There's just not a whole lot of things going on in DOT. You don't see a lot of announcements or dApps or for them, parachains. You just don't hear a lot about it. And I hear about their foundation, like, their foundation votes on what they're supposed to spend money on. And I keep hearing from more and more people that Gavin Wood, he holds so many DOT, so he could just overrule any kind of vote he wants. And that doesn't sound very decentralized. I've heard it from multiple people that, you know, there's some kind of community vote to get approval on some kind of funding, and Gavin Wood would just come in and veto everyone. And it's just like, if that's the case, then that doesn't sound decentralized at all. Metaverse Index. I have no idea what that is. Market cap of 0. Volume is non-existent. I think this project is too new. Abby, appreciate that. Brian, can you do a price prediction for Matic? Basically, I don't have a magic 8-ball with me, okay? But basically, everything could do a 10x, okay? So whatever the price of Matic is, just times it by 10, and that's a minimum for it. Especially something like a big cap like Matic. All the big caps can do a 10x, with the exception of maybe Ethereum. I don't think it could do a 10x, but maybe with spot ETFs, it can also. If we get Ethereum spot ETFs, then maybe it could do a 10x. But everything in the top 10, 15 could do a 10x. And everything outside the top 15 could do like a 20 to 50x. So you don't need to ask for a price prediction. Just know that you just times it by 10. That's a minimum. That's my opinion. Meet Kevin versus Clear Tax Value. Clear Tax Value guy looks much bigger than Kevin. He's like a Asian guy. Asian fellow who acts really serious. I bet he would stomp Kevin. Kevin did not reach out back to me. I have his text actually from years ago. I asked him about IFC. He did not respond to me. I don't think he's very interested. What do you think about the 5.3 theories that says the cycle top 79K? I think it's nonsense. Do you think the ETFs are just going to stop buying after Bitcoin hits 79,000? No. They're going to continue to buy. The FOMO from the institutions are not going to stop. All the charts and all the metrics really go out the window when you have 500, 600, 700 million dollars of the Bitcoin being bought per day and flowing into the ETFs. Yeah, Jason got a great knockout. We had a lot of great knockouts. That's what karate wants. They want knockouts. They don't want like a lot of ground and pound stuff. I'm going to have a lot of the videos, the individual videos. I know most of you guys watched the fights already, but all the individual videos will be going on Series Plus, one after another. And there's some interviews I've conducted that right before the fights that I'll be putting within those videos too. Yeah, I do want to get Alex Becker, but I hear he's impossible to convince. Even though I think he trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Why do you think the top 10 alts would do a 10x? Because they need to do a 10x just to get back to their previous high, basically. So that's why. As good as, well, not everyone. A lot of them are like 3x, 4x away. But a lot of them are still like 8, 9, 10x away. So that's a bare minimum. I diamond hand the last cycle, rode my crypto up and back down. I swore I'd take profits early this time. Do you think we could top on 2024? No. No, I don't. But that doesn't mean that you can't take profits. again, by the end of this year, if Bitcoin is already at like 125,000 and you're scared, it's okay to take profits out. You could take half of it out if you want to, right? But I certainly don't think this cycle is going to end in 2024. There's nothing to say that it will end in 2024. What's going to happen in 2025? 2024 is going to be such a good year because of all the catalysts I've already mentioned before. But it's not like the Fed is going to raise rates in 2025. It's not like the U.S. economy is going to go into a deep recession again. So there's no macro factor in 2025 that will really stop the run. It's too early to make that call, obviously. Maybe something does happen in 2025, but if it's just ordinary, then no. NMCT, no, I don't think it's gonna be as big as ETH. I mean, it could, but it's still far off. All the things being developed on Bitcoin right now, all the DeFi stuff, is still like in its infancy. Not quite sure they'll actually, take off. That's the thing, because for me, I still prefer Bitcoin to be a store of value. I don't think we need inscriptions, and I don't think we need DeFi on top of Bitcoin because we have everything else that's already created and more suitable. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not the biggest fan of Near Protocol. They're definitely lagging behind this cycle. They're probably the only play in my DCA portfolio that is still deep in the red. Man, little consolidation here. Oh, my screen just broke. Whiff is still doing well. Bonk is still doing well. Cock is gaining strength. Not really, but it's up 18%. Stacks is still up 18%. Jasper, appreciate that. When we should get out of altcoins? Never, really. Why would you get out of altcoins fully? I mean, it's okay to take profits. You go take profits. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. My new model for taking profit is basically just look at the cash pile of your portfolio. If you don't have at least 20, 25, 30% of your portfolio in cash, make sure you replenish. Like after today, after yesterday, if you notice that now your cash pile is down to 15% because everything else went up so much, sell off your winners and replenish that cash pile to 20%. And if you keep doing that during the bull run, well, then you're locking in those gains, right? And the cash pile is getting bigger too, because 25%, let's say your portfolio is $10,000, 25% of $10,000 is way smaller than, say, 25% at $100,000, right? The percentage is the same, but the dollar amount has grown substantially during the bull run. So I think if you just keep that percentage, locking in at a certain percentage, always cash out and make sure that percentage stays the same, you'll do just fine, right? And if you want to be more conservative, the higher we go, increase that percentage from 25 to 30%. Then increase it from 30 to 35%. And then eventually you could increase it all the way to 50%. Like say at the end of 2024, you're unsure about 2025, right? You still have 50% in play, 50% locked in. You really have no worry. ERC 404, it's not fractional NFTs. It's just NFTs with tokens. I don't know if it's a new standard I really care about, to be honest. Bina, thank you. Will LTC ever fly again? I don't know what your definition of fly is. Will it go up? Yes. Will it ever be in the top 5 or 10 like it did before? I don't think so. There's no use case for Litecoin. There's no reason to have Litecoin over Bitcoin. And people know that. That's why Bitcoin continues to get bigger and Litecoin continues to fall on this list. So there's absolutely zero reason to hold Litecoin over Bitcoin at this point in stage. Jason Parrish says, made more than enough to pay off my house now. The goal is to make enough to buy another house for cash and live off the rent from the first house. So you basically have to double it from here. Congratulations. I think you will accomplish that in no time. So that's absolutely fantastic. You're doing it right. You're doing it real right. Come on. We just need that. Before I sign off, I want to see that one massive pump to bring us to here. 57.8. And then, man, I don't even know what the next level is. Zoom out. Zoom out. Let's try to find the next level here. So that one, 57.8 is about right. Maybe it's hard to see because it's like so zoomed out. I think that, yeah, that looks about right. So yeah, it dipped here. It was, yeah, so that's right. So after this level, the next major level is probably here, 60,800. Yeah, so that's where that's the next level, like right here. All right, now I gotta zoom all the way back. Okay, so after we break this, 60,800 is the next level. I got no more coffee. Yeah, we got more and more people tuning in. Let's see. Coinbase still going higher. MicroStrategy still going higher. Let's just check. Let's check IBIT here. IBIT is blowing up too. Not as much as the other guys, but 52-week high. I mean, everything is 52-week high. For anything Bitcoin related is a 52-week high right now. You really can't lose. Justin, welcome. My eye exam is taking forever. Just grab another cup of coffee and make this long stream. I don't know what else to talk about. I have some options. I have some options on Coinbase that has been exploding recently. This one is going to make it, today is going to make it explode even more. I guess we could talk about TWC. Since you guys are all filthy rich now, make sure you go to the TWC conference, the World Wide Web conference. This next week, I'll be there. There'll be a lot of good projects there. We're going to have a networking party there. I'm going to start my contest there. We're actually going to brainstorm today. So I'm going to do at least 2 kind of contest videos there. So be prepared. If you're there and you participate, you could make some good money and be in one of my future videos. So I just have to think of what to do. I have one good idea, but I'm not so sure it's that great. So I'm going to start making a lot of new content for CRU Plus, guys. Besides IFC, which I'm going to definitely move forward with. But I'm going to come out with all these crazy ideas. You guys will love them. Pat says, only thing that sucks, only thing that stinks is when Bitcoin takes a cool off, all the alts get pounded back down. You know, that's always the thing. But true altcoin season doesn't start until like the last few months of a cycle. So if the cycle ends in 2025, you'll see that the last month or two, alts start exploding, and they explode every single day. And that's when you know the top is in. Like if you see your alts double literally like every 2 days and it goes up 10x within a month, you need to sell because that's when the top is coming. Every single time it's like that. I asked Aaron and Austin individually if they would ever fight IFC because they're young. They're young guys and they look pretty athletic. They said that's just not for them. I mean, I hate to pressure everyone. Fighting is just not for everyone, right? Some people just don't. They're lovers, not fighters. But there are a surprising number of people that have been training for years. Martial arts is a hobby, and they just want to prove it to themselves. There are a surprising number of people that have been doing that. Truck Talk. Do you like the Ford Maverick? I do like the Ford Maverick a lot, but I hear Ford dealers do not like the Maverick, so they overcharge them. But I do think Maverick is nice for a small little truck. It actually drives well, decent amount of space, and good power from that EcoBoost engine. You can't have Ben versus Rand, okay? You know, the size difference is way too vast. So that can't be a thing. I would love to get Rand to get involved and fight someone else that he chooses. It'll be a huge draw, obviously. And, you know, as for Ben, I don't know who he's going to fight next. And, yeah, I don't think TJ is going to fight. A lot of Surge, that's the thing. A lot of these people, they're already rich. They're not fighting to make more money. It's for fame and also to prove it to themselves that they could do it in a professional manner. Right? Like Charles Hoskinson, he keeps talking about how he wants to fight Vitalik or fight whoever. Right? He's a billionaire. He's a multi-billionaire. If he ever gets in a ring, it's not because he wants to make more money. Same thing. Elon wanted to fight Zuck. They're two of the richest men on the planet. They're not fighting for money, right? They're fighting to prove that they could do it, and for ego, and you know, basically to shame the other person. So none of the guys are fighting to get rich. Man, we're going up again. Up. Let's see if we can break this current trend here. We're pressing right up against it again. Let's see if we can break through this. Man, if we break through that and we start heading to 60K by tonight, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be real wild. All right, guys. I'm gonna conclude here. Basically, We got a record-setting surge right now. Bitcoin is moving in unknown territory in many, many ways. We're doing a lot of unprecedented things right now. It's absolutely fantastic for Bitcoin, for a lot of the alts, especially in the AI space, memes today. Everything is doing well, guys. So smash that like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I might be busting out something good tonight. All right, take care.